GM for sponsoring GM and OnStar, sponsoring our main lunch. In case you're wondering, Bill Adam emailed us last night and said that he had his broadcasting company that he works, that he does announcing for auto racing, was not going to telecast the broadcast in the National 500, but because it's a Canadian outfit and anybody who calls racing, you know that James Hinchcliffe is from Canada and he qualified second, so he is going on his way to Indianapolis right now as we speak to do the broadcast. So wish him well. First of all, we have, so there's only two of you, right?
Yes, that's it.
Marcelo,
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And of course, many thanks to Buick and also for being here. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for making the trip. Appreciate it. Looking forward to a wonderful presentation. Thank you. We do have a new member from Atlanta. My name is Dennis Byron, which some of you might know with Jet Magazine and Jet Girl Magazine. So he'll join us as a new member. He's very interested in coming down. Actually, he got information about Topless in Miami, and he's looking forward to coming down and taking part of this. So that's good news. I'll provide you with this information. Also, we do have some, I'm sure you're going to share some information with Topless in Miami.
Yes.
Of the new sponsors that we have. And in terms of, well, we got some sponsorship. We kind of left sponsorship open. We didn't go after anybody asking for money, so we kind of left it open for anybody that wanted to sponsor any of the activities we're doing. We did get sponsorship for the dinner, so for the actual dinner, and for a little FIFA World Cup friend opening party that's going to take place because there's a game being played 2 or 3 o'clock. So I think by then we should be almost finished with the judging. So they'll take part in this. That's being sponsored by Nissan. And then we're going to have the usual cocktail party we did previously to the dinner, the awards. That's going to be also sponsored, and Mercedes-Benz will be sponsoring that as well. And then we have parts during the lunch. So we still have an opportunity for the breakfast part of the grocery somewhere. So if anybody was interested, of course. And then treasury, we got to $10,100, and then we sent invoicing for the event. So everything looks good in terms of money funds for sound. So we're really good enough. Here you go.
Ron, did you want to come up?
Yes, of course.
Let's take a picture.
Looks like we got to value in our voters, but that's a wonderful sponsors for us. We're representing all our
Thanks, guys. Now I can wear it and talk about it. That'd be awesome. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
One more. Thank you.
Ron, did you get the other shirts distributed?
No, good.
Oh, I will. Thank you. Yeah.
We have from Vivian, there's 4 tickets to the Fort Lauderdale Home Design and Remodeling Show. Complimentary VIP ticket, May 30th, June 1st, throughout the County Convention Center. If anybody is interested in these tickets.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Ron, did you get your other shirts distributed? Ron has a shirt. Okay. All right, finally, Marcelo gave some of the details on the Topless in Miami. Last week I sent an email out detailing the procedures we're going to use. We do ask, that you get there between 8:15, that's very important, between 8:15 and 9 is registration. Please don't wait till 9. We want to start the program but I was wondering if anybody had any particular questions. That means you do. Okay. All right, well, we're really looking forward to that, and of course, it's up here a lot sooner than we think.
Yes.
It's going to be almost right away. Does anybody have any other announcements about their business or anything to make this a good opportunity for it? Okay. Okay, we're introducing them again. I want to thank GM and OnStar for sponsoring our luncheon. I'm going to ask Stuart Polly to come up from OnStar.
Hey everyone, I'm Stuart Powell. I work with Leslie on the GM PR staff. I represent GM Global Connected Consumer. So what that is OnStar as well as all of our infotainment business, the touch screens you see in the car. We merged that business about 2 years ago now into one department. So we're excited and happy here today to talk about OnStar 4G LTE. This technology is rolling out to more than 30 models this year, and I'll let our presenter Tim Nixon talk about that with you. But if you have any questions afterward, we have a Buick Regal here with an active Wi-Fi hotspot on it. So I'd love to show you some demos and show you all how it works. So with that, I'd like to bring up Tim Nixon, our Chief Technology Officer for GM Global Connected Consumer.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay, thank you very much, Stuart. Thank you to President Brooks here. Appreciate everyone coming. Again, my name is Tim Nixon. I've met several of you earlier today. We talked about a number of different elements of what I'm going to talk about. So I want to get a little bit deeper into what this whole space is for us with 4G LTE and OnStar technology that we're going to talk about today. It's really become a really important part of our business as General Motors with all of our different vehicles, not only here in North America, but in other parts of the world. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So, just a little bit of history. For those of you, I think that most people are familiar with OnStar, but if you're not, a little bit of history. It was founded back in 1995. We took our first call from a customer in September of 1996. And it's important to really talk a little bit about the history of OnStar because that's the foundation that we're building on when we talk about 4G LTE and the technology that we're here to talk about today. So it's been 18 years since we've had our first customer. We were really the first widespread telematics service, broadly deployed safety, security, peace of mind services for customers. We created a great brand. The OnStar brand is very well respected in the industry. A lot of people that are putting technology into cars today are saying that we're doing this just like OnStar, right? Which is a good flattering comment here. And you can see our mission, creating an industry, finding a business based on digital communications. It's something that's been there back when a lot of people didn't really think too much about connectivity. Think about 1996. In that era, didn't have a lot of technology in your hand when you first were popping like it does today. So over the 18 years that we've been in business, we've accumulated, as you can see, over 7 million customers. They're active in, as I mentioned, U.S., Canada, Mexico, and China. While we have most of them here in the U.S., the China population is growing. GM sells more cars in China than they do here in North America. And so it's a very popular technology for people there to use and interact with our services, and they're growing to over 700,000 customers are growing there. We're fast approaching our first anniversary in Mexico. We launched there last summer. And over those 18 years, we've had a lot of stories. Our advisors recount these stories, of course, including some of the commercials. We've had babies delivered. We've had people propose with using OnStar. We even use OnStar Christmas time. We play along and we help track Santa Claus for people that have kids in the car. It's amazing what people will ask for. So it's not just about, I'm in a crash, and certainly that's very important, or stolen vehicle tracking and those kinds of things. We offer see here how frequently some of the services are used. Almost 5,000 times a month, a typical month. We respond to almost 5,000 crashes. That's a pretty dramatic number when you think about 5,000 crashes every month. We respond to the scene of an accident, even if the customer is somehow incapacitated, even if their cell phone is somehow ejected out of the vehicle, or it's out of cellular coverage, or whatever it might be. So we provide help even when the drivers are not able to get help themselves. We recover about 380 stolen vehicles a month. We keep driving them in the right direction with over 3.5 million termites which is also an impressive number. 31,000 roadside assistance requests. Again, this is, flat tire, running out of gas, whatever it might be. You can see how many people forget to pull their keys out of their car every month. They need a door unlocked. Over 140,000. And we sent out over 4 million emails a month, diagnostic emails. That's really another element of peace of mind, because it tells customers about the vehicle, what's going on with the tire pressure or the oil level. Maybe there's some other kind of vehicle that they would otherwise maybe not know as much about. It's something nice, easy to view, easy to read format. Remote Link is an app. We've had over 3.5 million app requests in the month of February. Remote Link is a really popular device, real popular device that's on all 4 smartphones. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but it's an app that's now becoming used almost as much as the blue button in the car. People can get on iTunes, Google Play, Windows, or BlackBerry. You can download the app. I can see the tire pressure in the car. I can even remotely lock it or unlock it from here. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. It's a really important aspect of where we're going because it's changing the way people interact with our services. So, what's going on with the brand? I've been talking about OnStar mostly on the left side, the vertical service of safety, security, and peace of mind. And we're really building the platform now on OnStar. So as we start talking about where we're headed, with what we're going to talk about in a minute, we really felt that we needed to expand that brand into a connected by OnStar brand. And that's been very important because the 4G LTE hardware that brings more than just safety, security, peace of mind enablers to the car. And so while it's impacting and benefiting our existing service suite, it adds the additional services that we're going to be talking about. How to stay connected, staying entertained, staying productive, and doing that in a way that adds to the safety and security that's already there present in every vehicle. The first big addition that's in this vehicle is 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot. It allows you to connect up to 7 devices to the hotspot built into the car. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail later, but that's an important aspect of what's being added to the 4G LTE service that we're adding. So why are we doing all this? This is kind of a snapshot of just some key trends that our teams have been looking at. And I'm not going to read this whole slide, but you can kind of see smartphone penetration is increasing, and other countries are following us very quickly. You can see the Internet of Things is coming. That's also important. And so having a car that's connected is a natural thing. When we think about where we've been in our lives, you think about where you can take a device and connect home, office, a coffee shop, right? The airport. The car has been kind of absent from that space, but it really is a domain that's right for this, and that's where we're headed with this. Talk a little bit more about where we're headed with Remote Link. As we build the service suite around 4G LTE, we expect to expand what's called APIs, or application programming interfaces, into the car. The Remote Link app that I just showed you an example of allows you to interact with the car. And in fact, it's become so popular. Here, I know many of you are from this area, from Miami, but up in the cold north of Michigan and the northern climates, we had this polar vortex, which no one ever heard about before this year, I think, where it was cold for like forever, right? And during the peak of that, especially in January and February, people were using the remote start function on their by the way, also use it around here in the summertime to cool it down, right? So it's an example of what the power of connected technology can do when you put the technology in the car. So we're talking about technology that isn't just about bringing it in because you got it in your pocket and smartphone, but having it in the car so that you stay connected to the car even when you're not in it. It's the technology that allows us to track fuel in the vehicle. It's the same technology that allows us to remotely start the car. The other thing about that's an important trend before I leave this slide is we've done a quick look at what's going on with tablets. Less than 10% of tablets sold have a long-range wireless connection built into them. 90% plus are Wi-Fi only. And we recognize that being able to use that in a vehicle is a real big plus because it's it's an area that would be more difficult to be connected if you don't have a Wi-Fi hotspot built in. So why is that important? On average, 450 hours per year spent in a vehicle. That's a pretty important stat for us. And we recognize that that's a variety of people in all walks of life. It could be small business owners, it could be soccer moms, it could be a family going across the country to go visit relatives, grandma, whatever. And having that connectivity aspect is really important. Having Wi-Fi as part of that is really important. I've already personally was having a conversation with someone earlier about the fact that I've had Wi-Fi at one of the first of my business. I need to access this. I've had Wi-Fi in my vehicle for about 6 or 7 months now. And just watching my wife, I have a regular iPad now, being able to connect to, using an app, connect to watch a soap opera or the Food Network or whatever she's interested in looking at while we're taking a couple-hour drive out to visit some friends or going out north for a visit to the lake or something. It's just a really powerful environment. And all the while, maybe someone else in the car is doing something on a social media site. Again, connecting up to 7 devices. What is the future going to bring? We really don't know. My team is really responsible, as I mentioned, in this connected space for building the plumbing, put this in motion, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see what people use this for. So what does this really mean? And from the GM vehicle perspective, we're going to have over 30 vehicles this year outfitted with this technology. And it's not something just a luxury vehicle. We have a very nice Regal here today, but this technology is going to show up in a Chevrolet Spark, which if you see the Spark, it's the entry-level product in our North American lineup for Chevrolet. That'll be available with 4G LTE technology, all the way up to the highest end vehicles as well, sport utilities and Cadillacs and so forth. So we're looking at this as technology really for the masses, just like OnStar did for the masses. We didn't just put OnStar in one particular type of vehicle, we're putting it across our vehicles. And for us, it's really important. We've got a great Regal GS here. I invite, by the way, afterwards, after we're done with lunch, if anyone hasn't seen the technology, we've got some demonstrations that we can show you how it works. Stuart is also available to help show that. But setting the hotspot up, it's super easy. We leave the factory with the hotspot enabled. You just have to hook up to the network name, type in the password that's available in the vehicle, and you're off and running. It's as simple as that. Whenever the car is on, the hotspot's on. And so that's really a pretty impressive thing, which makes it easy to use, just like the rest of OnStar. Every car comes with 3 gigabytes for 3 months.